Welcome to Biographical Tales. Today we'll be exploring the life and legacy of one of the most influential scientists in human history, Charles Darwin. Known for his groundbreaking work on the theory of evolution, Darwin's ideas not only revolutionized science, but also changed the way we understand life on Earth. Join us as we take a deep dive into the remarkable life of Charles Darwin and how his theory of natural selection forever altered the course of biology. Charles Robert Darwin was born on February 12, 1809, in Shrewsbury, England, into a well-off family. His father, Robert Darwin, was a wealthy physician, and his mother, Susanna Darwin, came from the Wedgwood family, known for their famous pottery business. Although Darwin grew up in a family of wealth and privilege, he showed a natural curiosity for the world around him from an early age. As a child, Darwin was more interested in exploring nature than focusing on his formal education. He loved collecting beetles, rocks, and other natural specimens, spending hours in the countryside observing plants and animals. However, his father had different plans for him. At the age of 16, Darwin was sent to the University of Edinburgh to study medicine. But Darwin was quickly disillusioned by the gruesome surgeries and lectures. His real passion lay in natural history, a subject he pursued quietly outside of class. In 1831, a pivotal moment in Darwin's life came when he was offered a position as the naturalist on board HMS Beagle, a British ship set to embark on a 5-year voyage around the world. At just 22 years old, Darwin saw this as the perfect opportunity to pursue his passion for the natural world. The voyage would become one of the most important scientific expeditions in history. The Beagle's journey took Darwin to the coasts of South America, the Galápagos Islands, Australia, and Africa. It was during this voyage that Darwin made observations that would eventually lead to the formulation of his theory of evolution by natural selection. On the Galápagos Islands, Darwin noticed that the finches had different beak shapes depending on the island they inhabited, each adapted to the specific food sources available. This variation sparked the idea that species were not fixed but could change over time depending on their environment. During his travels, Darwin meticulously collected specimens of plants, animals, and fossils, sending them back to England for further study. These specimens formed the foundation of his later work on evolution. After returning from the Beagle's voyage in 1836, Darwin spent over 2 decades refining his ideas about evolution. The concept of species changing over time was not entirely new, but Darwin's explanation for how these changes occurred was revolutionary. His theory of natural selection proposed that individuals within a species vary in traits such as size, color, or strength. Those with traits better suited to their environment were more likely to survive and reproduce, passing on those advantageous traits to the next generation. Over many generations, this process could lead to the evolution of entirely new species. Darwin's ideas were daring, challenging the prevailing belief that species were created by God and remained unchangeable. In 1859, after years of hesitation and mounting pressure from fellow scientists, Darwin published his groundbreaking work on the origin of species. The book presented his theory of evolution and natural selection with detailed evidence from his observations and studies. The publication of On the Origin of Species marked a turning point not only for Darwin, but for science as a whole. The book caused an immediate stir, sparking debate within the scientific and religious communities. While many scientists recognized the strength of Darwin's evidence, others were shocked by the implications of his theory, particularly the idea that humans shared common ancestry with animals. Despite the controversy, Darwin's work was gradually accepted by the scientific community, and by the end of his life, the theory of evolution had become one of the cornerstones of modern biology. Darwin's ideas not only explained the diversity of life, but also provided a framework for understanding how all living organisms are connected. Throughout his life, Charles Darwin was a man of deep thought and quiet determination. He married his cousin, Emma Wedgwood, in 1839, and together they had 10 children. Darwin was known to be a devoted husband and father, but his life was not without challenges. For much of his adult life, Darwin suffered from chronic illness, the exact cause of which remains unclear. He often experienced bouts of nausea, fatigue, and dizziness, which limited his ability to travel and work. Despite these health issues, Darwin continued to write and research from his home in Down House, where he remained a prolific author, publishing works on various subjects, including geology, plants, and human evolution. His most personal and controversial book, The Descent of Man, published in 1871, delved into the evolution of humans and argued that humans and apes share a common ancestor, a theory that was even more shocking than his earlier work. Charles Darwin passed away on April 19, 1882, at the age of 73, leaving behind a legacy that forever changed the scientific world. His theory of evolution by natural selection has become one of the central pillars of modern biology, influencing not only how we understand the natural world, but also how we approach medicine, genetics, and conservation. Today, Darwin's ideas continue to resonate. The field of evolutionary biology has expanded far beyond what Darwin could have imagined, with advancements in genetics and molecular biology providing new insights into how species evolve. Darwin's work laid the foundation for scientists like Gregor Mendel, who discovered the laws of inheritance, and more recently, researchers in the Human Genome Project, who mapped the human genetic code. Darwin's influence extends far beyond science, inspiring thinkers, philosophers, and even artists to explore the connections between life, nature, and the universe. Charles Darwin was more than just a scientist. He was a visionary who sought to understand the fundamental processes that drive life on Earth. His curiosity and dedication to uncovering the truth about nature's mechanisms have inspired countless generations of scientists, naturalists, and thinkers. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life of Charles Darwin. His work reminds us of the power of observation, the importance of evidence, and the enduring quest for knowledge. Subscribe to Biographical Tales for more stories of extraordinary individuals who have changed our world. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.